All right, I think we're recording now. We're recording from Columbia to New York, so there might be a little bit delay. And we're here with Dr. Daniela Rodriguez. You know me from Residency Success. I'm Dr. Dada. We're here to get her really good news about her match this year for pediatrics residency and ask her some questions. And hopefully, that whatever she tells us is going to help future applicants. And she's also doing that through her group, which I really admire. Um, Tell us, Danny, how are you feeling about the match after 4 attempts, working with us and other mentors? How are you feeling?
Hey, how are you? I'm super happy. I'm very excited. Finally I match.
Just,
So yeah, I am like, oh my God, I'm really, really happy. Things are
yeah, and
gonna change a lot, but
right, that your smile is like lighting up the camera right now.
yeah.
And, we discussed, listen, there is no guarantee in life, right? But you have to kind of believe in yourself and keep moving forward. And there are times that all you need to hear, right, when we work together is, hey, listen, don't listen to them. You just keep doing what you're doing. You did a lot of hard work, a lot of networking through social media, and you made it happen for yourself because you chose the right mentors and the right path. Um, Tell us a little bit about your background. Like, what's your year of graduation? How many times did you apply?
I did my medical school here in Colombia and I got my degree on 2015. um, I started preparing for the steps and everything before, but like I didn't have enough information, and then I started applying for the match in 2017, and I applied for well 3 times that in which I didn't match, and finally I matched this time.
Right. And everybody that's coming from a different country always has these doubts like, am I doing the right thing? Is my English not good enough? Is my document good enough? And you can take it to 100 different people and they'll have 100 different advice for you and
Yeah.
100 different ways to tell you yes or no. And not saying that, there's one that's right over the other, but you have to choose wisely the people who actually tell you what to do. They should be people who are in the U.S. system, who've gone through the match process and the application, because otherwise, how could you
Yeah.
trust them to give you advice? And
Yes.
number two, there's a lot of people that maybe care about you, not because they want to see you fail, say, hey, look, you've tried enough, just give up. Like, it's too hard. Don't do this to yourself anymore. What would you say to the people who are thinking about like they have not matched last year and how should they approach these advice?
Well, the first thing that what I did is the first thing that I did was to take time um, for to cope with this bad news. The other thing is to start planning what you want to do, because in my case what happened is that I was not focused on what I wanted, so I was doing a lot of things at the same time, and then finally I was like, okay, no, I have to know what I want, which steps I have to follow, and finally that's why I match, because I just focus myself. So one thing that is important is, yes, to not to compare with nobody, because in my case I always compare myself with my friends, and this was like very disappointing. I was super sad, to not to listen people who doesn't know really about the match, about the process, because they will say like, hey, you are have been trying so hard and you are not getting that, and maybe you are not doing the right way, but they really don't know what are you doing.
Right.
And the other thing is to organize your time. For example, in my case, I was working also while I was getting ready for the match, but I have to take time for the preparation for the application. So you have to invest time on that. That's not just like writing like a personal statement. No, you have to take time for that.
Right. And the other thing is, Danny, I think a lot of people just don't realize that they're, it's not good enough to have good English, let's say, right? Writing something that speaks to a committee about who you are and your background is the most important thing. Number two, lots of CVs I see, perhaps a little bit of the editing we did for you with your CV and personal statement. Um, it's just people write the way that they think a CV should be written, and it's usually incorrect. Things are very, very like exact with a medical CV. So the thing is, when you're in medical school in the US, they help you with all that. But you guys have no support from the medical school, you have no guidance. And if you just ask other people doing the same process, they don't know because they haven't been on the interview committees or in like university programs to give you like good advice. So I think once I saw like the things that we had in front of you, it was very clear the way that we could help you in terms of the edits we could make. And were they simple? Perhaps for other people, or not so simple, but multiple people had looked at your stuff before and nobody had given you this feedback. So that's where like experts come in. And it really, like you said, and I think what I want to say, what you said, is so important. This is about emotional intelligence too, not just intelligence. Like every one of us is intelligent. We can pass the exams, we can memorize, we're doctors. But the intelligence to set aside time for yourself, intelligence to invest in yourself. Because look at the American grads, they have invested in themselves over the years. They have $304,000 in loans, and you're coming in and trying to take, let's say, a slot
Uh-huh.
that should go to them. It's
Yes.
time for you to invest in yourself to find the proper guidance, right? Because they have already invested. This is why they succeed the first time, every time. So it's not really surprising why IMGs don't succeed maybe the first, second, or third time, because they don't have the right guidance and they don't invest in themselves and they don't set aside time. And what you said is especially true if people have families, right? They are multitasking. They're also doing so many things. Like obviously you have to work to support your family, but people are not focused. They just think like spending 2 days on the application and uploading, is it enough? It's not enough. It's not enough, you know?
No,
So
it's
can you tell us a little bit about like how we met and what type of services did we help you with? Um,
yeah. So yeah, I remember it was, I think, last year and a half, that I didn't match for the third time. I was super sad. I was devastated. Mm. But there was something in myself that was saying to me, "Hey, don't give up. You have to keep trying." And I created my group, a group on Facebook, because I am a very altruistic person and I love help people. And I was like, hey, I know that if I'm very sad, I know that there's a lot of people that they will be feeling like me. And I created this group. I start also having and getting a lot of texts of people, and they talk me about you. Um, and I remember that you also, I don't know why you end on my group and you start like also giving advice to people, and I was like, oh my god. So then I texted you and we start talking, and I like the way you work, like how you advise me. um, that you The thing that I liked is that you were not like interested in having money. No, you were interested in helping, and that you also knew like all the path, and you understand how IMGs feel. So it was very like, I feel very identified with you,
right.
and that's why I decided to work with you.
Yeah, thank you for the really great feedback. We feel the same about you because you're helping others as well, and I think Dr. Alonso's podcast also connected us. And look, this is one big family. But we have to understand that the doctors that are on my team and myself, obviously if I go moonlight as a neurologist somewhere, I will make a lot more money than helping somebody for 1 hour and listening and taking on their like story and trying to help them. But the people have to be compensated for their time. And if you look at any of the top services out there, let's say, that have been around for a long time, we won't name names, but I welcome anyone to go to any competitor's page and look at what they're offering in their packages versus mine. I'm offering 40-50% more, and it's a lot less money if you look at it, because we support you through the whole 6-month cycle.
Yes.
And also, Danny, you were part of a lot of our boot camp interviews as well as one-on-one interview sessions. Tell me how that changed your outlook about the answers you gave during your interview.
One thing that it helped me a lot was that you give me the advice of doing a research of the program before the interview. So it was really important. In my case, what helped me a lot was for the questions that I asked to the programs, um, because the questions that I asked were authentic questions, were not the same questions that everyone asked. And actually, I remember that one of the program directors told me that, like, hey, your questions are really good. And finally, the all the interview were the questions that I asked,
Yeah,
and there was I matched in that program.
that's
So I was,
amazing.
yeah. The other thing that is also important and that you advised me was the answer about tell me about yourself, how to organize, my answer and what I should say. Because I remember the first time that I applied, I was very lost and I started talking a lot of things, and and finally I didn't answer what they were looking for.
Right.
So yes.
Yeah, I think that's also a product of your nervousness and
Mm-hmm.
being not prepared. It's I can't blame anybody when they are not prepared just because of the fact that you guys don't have the proper guidance. I don't blame you. There's nothing to do with someone is stupid or not or smarter than somebody else. Even you won't believe, Danny, like when there are a lot of people that are English speakers that are from the US and they don't know how to answer interview questions. It's a completely different thing than being able to just talk to your friend or be able to talk at work or and during a research program. So I'm really glad we were able to help you. It's your effort also, right? You did a lot of hard work. You also
Yes.
kept working through the whole process. And I'm just like really, really proud of you. So I mean, I know you're giving a lot of good advice, but what other advice would you give to others in your shoes? There's a lot of people that did not match this year. What advice will you give them now for the 2022 match coming up?
Well, I know that this is a cliche, but things happen for a reason. Um, for me, I hate the word patience. I hate
Yeah,
that because I want always to have things like, fast, to get things fast. But you need to be patient, and there's something that life wants to show you. If you didn't match this time, is because there's something that you have to do before or that you have to learn. It's not just your professional area in which you have to work. You have to work in your personal life. You have to improve as a human being. That is very important. And there's always something that you can do. There's always something that you can do. Don't compare yourself with other people, and keep trying. Look for contacts. That's the most important thing. I know that there's a lot of people, they have really good scores, but they don't know anybody in the United States.
right,
So you need to know people
right,
and to make good networking.
right. So I think we'll have a series of different programs in my group as well as yours over this year, like about networking, as well as just small advice, right? Because if you didn't match, there's got to be something you can improve, like you said.
Yeah.
And the other thing is staying open and just razor sharp focus. If you want internal medicine, focus on that. If you want psych, focus on that. And working with us and coming up with a plan. And the most important thing right now, Danny, is I'm doing these strategy sessions with people that didn't match or want to match for next year and figuring out a plan of action for the next 6 months. This is what we need, a strategy session to get you on your way. And also, like, we're enrolling in the next month or so for the Platinum Plan, which is the 6-month plan to take you through the whole process. Once again, feel free to compare prices on other websites. We are actually very competitive for the one-on-one service you get, and we're doing like boot camp sessions pretty much every weekend throughout the interview process. It's invaluable, the amount of support that you get. So what about future plans? I know we talked about fellowship. It's so exciting, and we're going to help you, obviously, by mentoring you throughout because first year of residency is the toughest. I'll be here, to guide you and help you, as well as help you through the fellowship. And, we're going to obviously keep working together to help other students. Tell me what your future plans are.
So my future plans, well, now start the residency. And I wanna do something completely different that I didn't do before. And I was like, I want to work on my fellowship since the beginning of my residency, so I have to focus on that. Um, I not sure what I want to do right now. I like pulmonology, but also NICU. But I want to start focusing on that,
Right.
since the beginning. And the other thing is that I will continue working also with my group, helping other people. And yeah, my plan is staying in the United States, having my family, my house. Well, there's a
Right,
lot of
right.
things I want to do. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm just glad that, we were able to take some time to get your thoughts and celebrate with you this year for the match. But this is just the beginning of the journey.
Yeah.
So the fact is that, like now we're going to continue working together, helping these other people, helping you. And maybe I have to take some of your own advice because I do have a board exam coming up. I'm so busy helping other people. I have to like think about helping myself now, so
Yeah.
I'm going to take your advice, Dr. Danny. So thank you so much for being with us today. We will likely stream this video in your group as well as mine. And yeah, let's stay in close touch. If you want to reach either one of us, her is Residency Match Never Give Up group, and mine is Residency Success Match group. My email is residencysuccess2000@gmail.com, and you can reach me as a messenger on the page as well. All right? Thank you and take care.
Thank you.